Hiles here, aka the Mindset Guy, with today's training video, which is all about creative visualization. And this idea came from our holiday. I'm just back from our summer vacation with the family, and we went to Los Angeles and then down to Hawaii. Never been down to Hawaii before, and we're already booking next year's holiday now, so I'll give you an idea of how much we enjoyed Hawaii. Now, I'm a surfer. I love surfing. Surfing is a passion of mine, in fact, anything to do with the ocean. And I was recommended this book to read, which you can see here. And it's a story all about Frosty Hessen, and he's a big wave rider. He rides Mavericks, which is in sort of Northern California. And it's really a story all about his life. But in here, he talks about a book that changed his life. And it was the exact same book, or one of the exact same books, that changed my life. And I want to talk about that book and bring that book alive. And that book is Psycho-Cybernetics by Max Maltz. Now look at the title and look at the cover, right? When I first picked up this book, I was recommended this book as well. When I first picked up this book, firstly I went, it looks like a school book. It looks like a book that I should, and I didn't have a great schooling experience. So I was instantly turned off by the cover, but remember, never judge a book by its cover. But also Psycho-Cybernetics, what on earth are you calling it that for? But I have to say, this book and what's in this book really made a profound impact on me, because there was things in here that I'd never thought about and heard about before. And this is many, many years ago. And in the book, in the chapter that I kept reading over and over again is chapter number 1. And chapter number 1 is really all where he talks about this whole concept of the self-image, the image that we have of ourselves. Now, I've written all over it. I want to just find it here. Some of the things that he says in here. So he says, imagine that you have this thing called your self-image. It's a collection of all the thoughts, beliefs, and feelings you have about yourself. It's completely dictates your level of success, happiness, and abundance. And his words, self-image sets the boundaries of your accomplishment. Our self-image, strongly held, essentially determines who we become. Now, I'd never heard of self-image before, thought about self-image before, but the whole idea of this self-image and that you can change your self-image was really new to me. Now, I want to build this into a model today, and this model comes from Stephen Covey, the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I had the good fortune of sitting in front of Stephen many, many times, and this was one of these simple little models that really was like, oh, that's so easy to understand, and it's see, do, get. Now, I've added a bit to this, so I'm just sort of made a little distinction. I'm going to come to that in a moment. But let's just help understand this for. So C is the sort of the way that we see ourselves, the way that we see other people, the way that we see the world, the way that we see problems, the way that we see difficulties, etc., etc. So it all starts from that. And the way we see things motivates what we do. This is behaviours and actions. And of course, what we do drives what we get, results, and the consequences of our actions. Now, for most people, what we get then influences how we see things. And Stephen talks about paradigms or beliefs or assumptions or premises that we sort of drive. So there's a direct link across here for most of us, okay? So, you know, if we get good results, we achieve something, then that affects the way that we see ourselves. It affects what we believe about ourselves. And vice versa. If we don't get a very good result in something, it drives the way we see ourselves, right? So, simple model. Now, let's talk about self-concept, because the problem is, because of our life experiences, most of us grow up with a negative self-concept. I certainly did, a negative concept. And that's why this book was sort of revolutionary in terms of, wow, it's something that I can change. So if we have a negative self-image, so we don't see ourselves as good at something, or we don't see that something is possible, or that we don't think we're worthy of something, then that's going to drive what we do, okay? So it's going to limit what we do. And of course, because it limits what we do, the actions that we take, then that's going to affect what we get. And then the brain goes, see, I told you. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So we get stuck in jobs that we don't like. We get stuck on an income level that isn't the sort of income level we want. We get stuck hanging around with people that we maybe don't enjoy being around. And then it becomes like, well, this is just the way that it is, right? I don't know if you've seen Groundhog Day, but it's a bit like that, right? So we get stuck. But there is a way out if we begin to change any negative self-image we have of ourselves and turn it into a positive self-image. Because if we believe things are possible, if we believe that I can do it, if we believe that I'm worthy of it, that's going to change what we do. It's the actions that we take. That's going to change then what we get, and the brain's going to go, see, I told you, I knew that you could do it, or whatever it is, right? So changing this self-concept. Now, some of the things that came out of the book. I made some notes at the back here. It's always funny to go in and look at what notes you made. I did a long, long time ago. So these are his words. Any picture firmly held in mind in any form is bound to come forth. This is a great, unchanging, universal law that when we cooperate with it, intelligency makes us absolute masters of conditions and circumstances in our lives. And we have the capacity and power to create desirable pictures within and to find them automatically printed in the outer world in our surroundings. And it's a simple process. It's the whole idea of creating vision boards where you find pictures of things that you want to achieve, and then you stick them on a board, right? I've talked about that before. Another one, people who have definite objectives deliberately tune into one thing. If it's money, then they'll get it. If it's position, then they'll get it. Nothing that such people tune into can be withheld. I mean, this is powerful stuff, right? So one of the other things that I learned from the book that I'd never heard of before is that the subconscious mind can't tell the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. Can't make that distinction. Which is brilliant because we can trick the subconscious mind into effortlessly helping us get more of what we want. This is why setting goals is important. When you set goals, then you're using your mental creativity, right? You're determining what you want. You're setting a goal or setting an intention. That's why it's so powerful. And we can begin to influence. But I want to prove it to you right now. I want to prove this model to you right now, and then I'm going to reveal what this is. So it's a little exercise that I need you to do with me, okay? And if you can't do it because you're watching this video in a public forum, then do it when you get home and you're in a private space. So what I want you to do first is I want you to turn your neck either left or right. I'm going to go right. And go around as far as you can and pick a reference with your eyes, the furthest point that you can see, all right? So, and that's around, as far as you can go around, okay? So I can actually just about see with the periphery of my eye, I can just about see this flip chart here, right? That's as far around as I can go, right? So you're going to get a point of reference. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to visualize ourselves going past this point of reference 3 times. I'm going to do this with you. I'm going to talk you through the visualization, and then we're going to test and see what happens, right? So close your eyes. I'm going to close my eyes. So I want you now just to picture in your mind your head spinning round. And if you have trouble creating images, just relax, take a deep breath and relax, that you're able to create the images, and these images are being created for you by your subconscious. And see your sort of eyes going round, your neck going round, but you're only seeing it in your mind, you're not doing it, but see yourself going past that point of reference easily and comfortably. Create a new point of reference in your mind beyond it. Okay? Now see your neck coming all the way back round again, twisting all the way around, now you're back round the front. Now see your neck twisting round again, your head twisting round again, going past the first point of reference, past the second point of reference, keep going, weird, almost like your neck's going right the way round, twisting all the way round even further, create a new point of reference. And then see your neck and head coming all the way round, eyes coming all the way around to the front, now they're around the front again. Last time this time, see your neck spinning, head spinning round, neck twisting, muscles relaxing, allowing you to do it easy and effortlessly. You go past the first, past the second, past the third, keep going even further all the way around, almost like 180, keep going all the way around. Create a new point of reference, way beyond. And then see your head spinning round, neck spinning round, eyes coming round, and now they're back round the front. Open your eyes. Now spin round and see what happens. All right, now see if you went further. For me, I actually came round and saw this here. So I went from here to here in terms of my ability to. So if you get that kind of result, what are we seeing? We're changing the way that we're seeing. We got a result last time, that's as far as I can go. We deliberately created a new mental image by using visualization, dropping that into the subconscious. That changes what we do, that changes what we get. This is why sports people use visualization. This is why high achievers use visualization, because it's proven and it works. Whoa, hold up there, Colin. You almost forgot to mention that the reason that Frosty began to read psychocybernetics was that in his early days as a young man, he was a swimmer. He was a competitive swimmer. And he knew that it's not just building around your skill capability, it's also a mindset capability that's important as well. So he began to use the techniques laid out in the book and changing the image that he had of himself as a swimmer and visualizing to the smallest detail him at his absolute best. And he set a goal to knock 10 seconds off of his best time, which is a pretty hairy, audacious goal. Well, he didn't knock the 10 seconds, he knocked 8 seconds off, which is still pretty incredible just using visualization techniques. Now, what's my little added? Well, it's here. All right, I'm going to add something to Stephen Covey's model, and that's reflect. So see, do, get, reflect. It's really important that we take time out and we reflect. What am I getting? Okay, what am I getting? Because if it's not what I want, I need to change up here. I need to do something up here. And that's why this book is fantastic, because it's all about exactly that. I mean, the premise of the book is change the images in your mind and you change your results. Simple as that. Change the images, change. So we have to reflect. And one of the simple things that we can do when we reflect, if we're not getting the results that we're looking for, is what I've been talking about, which is creative visualization. And it's proven, it works. I've just given you an example, and hopefully you got, the result of that. And if you've just watched it and you're just being passive, then make sure you do the exercise. So deliberately creating images that we want, results that we want, so that we can set up the subconscious mind to go for it. And so some of you are Academy members. If you're an Academy member, this is in the Academy. All right, you can download this and you can read this. It's in the Academy. If you're not an Academy member, I'm going to put a link below. It's just £5 to join. Ridiculous how much value is in there for £5. I show you what value is in there for £5. And then when you go in, you can then, if you want to take it to the next level, order 4 or download 4 guided visualizations. You get a discount on them. 4 guided visualizations that use isochronic tones, and isochronic tones are just so powerful. They drop us into a state of alpha, and alpha opens up the subconscious mind. I then take you through a guided visualization, so you're visualizing what you want, and it speeds everything up. It makes everything so much easier. So I'm an advocate of them. Many people around me use them. Many people in the Academy use them. But take a look. There's a video in there where I explain them all to you, how they work, each one, and why each one is targeting a specific problem that many people that I've worked with over the years have had. So to check it out for yourself. If you do nothing more, at least begin to creatively visualize the things that you want. Make sure that you spend time each day visualizing what you do want, picturing what you do want, letting the subconscious mind know what you do want. So this is Colin Hiles. Thank you very much for listening to today's training module or today's training video, and I'll see you on the next one.